Coming up on BCN today, a bomb threat at Lethbridge College is believed to be a hoax. Plus, another case of coronavirus has been confirmed in Canada, this one in British Columbia. And Lethbridge East MLA Nathan Newdorf stops by our studio to discuss how the province will help Lethbridge deal with its crime issues.
Your Canada. Your Southern Alberta. Your stories. From our studios in the heart of Lethbridge, it's BCN Today with Jeanette Roche.
Hello, thanks for joining us. Lethbridge police were called to Lethbridge College yesterday afternoon after it received a threat and had to evacuate all staff and students as a precautionary measure. School officials say classes were canceled Monday. Upon further investigation, the threat appeared to be a hoax sent via email from the United Kingdom.
Shortly before 1 o'clock today, the Lethbridge College received an email to their general inquiries of a bomb threat potentially to take place tomorrow. The college took some precautions as per their security policies, and police responded. Through our investigation, we determined that potentially the email actually has come from overseas, and there's no credible threat at all that there's a bomb in the college. Because there's no credible threat and no information or intelligence that would drive us in a particular direction, there's no more we can do other than conduct an investigation really in terms of a cyber crime now.
As the police officer said earlier on, Inspector Duberstein, it was a bomb threat. We immediately called 911 and entered into our protocol in terms of which the executive team met and considered the threat and it made the decision to evacuate the college.
The investigation into the cyber threat will continue. All classes have resumed again today. Lethbridge police have charged a 20-year-old man who was caught red-handed at the scene of a robbery. This morning at around 2:30 a.m., the masked man entered a Circle K along the 2700 block of Mayor McGrath Drive South, demanded cash, and threatened to harm the clerk if he didn't comply. An undisclosed amount of money, gift cards, and cigarettes were taken. The clerk was able to press a panic button. A police officer patrolling the area immediately responded and saw the suspect still inside the store just as he was preparing to leave. 20-year-old Ahmed Babatund of Lethbridge has been charged and taken into custody. A Calgary man has been convicted of drugging, sexually assaulting, and beating a woman during an 11-hour ordeal in a hotel room. Vasilios, also known as Billy Georgopoulos, who is 39, was found guilty yesterday of sexual assault causing bodily harm, assault with a weapon, unlawful confinement, and uttering threats. The victim told court she met Georgopoulos in 2017 on the dating website sugardaddy.com. The woman escaped when Georgopoulos stepped away for a short time and she was able to run to the front lobby. BC's provincial health officer says the risk of a new coronavirus spreading remains low as the first presumptive case in BC has been confirmed. A Vancouver area man returned from a business trip to the Chinese city of Wuhan last week and started showing symptoms about 24 hours later. Bonnie Henry is urging people to rely on credible sources for information about the virus because she says rumors can lead to discrimination, as they did during the SARS outbreak in 2003. There have been 2 other confirmed cases of the virus in Toronto. Federal Health Minister Patty Hajdu says there is still no reason for Canadians to be alarmed. Hajdu says government agencies are ready to respond if the situation worsens.
I'm reluctant to go into numbers of cases that are being monitored, as that could be very fluid and can change from moment to moment. But I will tell you that the provinces and territories are reporting cases that they're monitoring immediately to their federal counterparts, which allows us to support them in contact tracing, in testing, and analysis at the national lab. The risk is low. I think that is the primary message that I want to give Canadians. The risk of contracting coronavirus is low. And I think there are risks of contracting other viruses that are here in Canada that we know a lot about that are much higher.
Due to the risk of transmission of the coronavirus by those who have recently arrived from China, the Southern Alberta Chinese Association canceled its gala celebration planned for this Saturday at the Coast Hotel in Lethbridge. Ticket holders for the gala are urged to contact SACA for a refund. China is now counting 6,000 cases of the coronavirus, including more than 130 deaths. Our foreign affairs expert, Lisa Daftari, says the reason why the disease is spreading so quickly to so many countries around the world is because of air travel.
People have already traveled out of Wuhan, the Chinese province where this began, and it's going to take a while before this can be contained. Again, where we spoke about this last time, you and Hal, about how whenever there's an air, when airplanes are available, diseases will spread, and they will spread quickly to different continents.
Lisa will have an update on the coronavirus coming up later in our show. And speaking of air travel, several countries have begun evacuating their citizens from the Chinese area most affected by the virus. A lockdown of 17 cities is affecting more than 50 million people. A Japanese flight that carried people out of the city of Wuhan included 4 passengers with coughs and fevers. Another plane evacuating more than 200 Americans continued onto Southern California this morning. And an airplane that was evacuating as many as 240 Americans from Wuhan landed in Anchorage, Alaska late last night. The passengers are going through multiple medical screenings.
We've worked primarily with the Department of Health. They advised us of a flight that would be coming in from Wuhan, that the patients would be, or the passengers would be screened prior to boarding, but screened again, and if any are found to be ill in Anchorage, there may be a need to hospitalize them in Anchorage. So we're prepared to handle patients with highly infectious diseases.
Meantime, British Airways says it's immediately suspending all flights to and from mainland China after the UK government warned against unnecessary travel to the country. Air Canada is also canceling select flights to China. Ottawa is advising against all travel there. About half of the 250 Canadians registered as being in the quarantined city of Wuhan are asking the federal government to help bring them home.
The situation is that we have 250 Canadians which have registered on the website of Global Affairs Canada, which are in the province. Of the 250, we have 126 which have requested consular assistance for our assistance, obviously. And so we're looking now at contacting them. As you appreciate, it's the middle of the night in China. We are in contact with them. We're trying to contact everyone, assess their specific need for assisted repatriation. Every Canadian which has reached out to us for consular assistance will receive it. The way we will deliver the assistance obviously is going to depend on the options that we're looking at. We're looking, like I said, with different countries. We're also talking to the Chinese government, obviously. So we will be doing whatever we need to offer the best consular service we can.
The question around what happens when they come back to Canada, those are exactly the details that our departments are working on together. We are, this is of utmost priority for me, is to make sure that we're protecting the health and safety of Canadians, whether they're abroad or whether they're here. And so we're working right now with our officials to develop a plan, and that's why we'll come back to you as soon as we have that plan to give you the details.
U.S. President Donald Trump is set to sign the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement into law in his country today. The move clears the way for Canada to move forward with an implementation bill in the House of Commons. The Trudeau government has been taking pains to avoid getting out in front of the Trump White House. The agreement won't come into force until the first day of the third month after the final country, in this case Canada, serves notice that it's ready to proceed. And closer to home, hundreds of grade 5 and 6 students from across the Lethbridge School District got to skate with and meet members of the Lethbridge Hurricanes at the NMAX Center. The event, organized every year by the Alberta Motor Association, is a way to thank the kids for their hard work as school safety patrollers.
My favorite part was skating around and getting signatures and hanging out with a whole bunch of buddies.
It's pretty fun. Just going out there getting signatures with the guys.
We're here basically to show our appreciation to all the people that participate with the AMA safety patrol. It's a great opportunity to show our appreciation to them and to kind of give back to them because they put the effort out to keep our streets safe, and it's a good way for us to say thanks.
To keep kids safe crossing the street.
Today we're out to celebrate the school safety patrollers. It's a day for the community to come together to celebrate the hard work that these patrollers are doing every day. The patrollers are out there whether it's raining, whether it's snowing, whether it's nice hot sunny day, they're out there patrolling, making sure that kids are getting to and from school safely every day, and these kids are out there doing a great job.
Having a good time, skate with the Hurricanes and meeting all of the actual players. I'm having a good time, like getting all their autographs and like skating around with all my friends. I'm having a good time, just seeing friends, hockey teammates, and seeing the Hurricanes from my teams. It's awesome here.
It's fantastic. All these kids out here, they're smiling, they're having fun, they're skating, learning to skate. It's great to be out with them.
There you go, a happy news story for you. So what's the best way to protect your home from being invaded by a prowler? We spoke with a local home security firm about what you can do to ensure that you don't become a victim of crime.
It's not just your alarm system for your home. Now they've integrated having cameras, having doorbell cameras, having security locks, having automated garage systems, all linked directly to your smartphone so you can control it from literally anywhere in the world. And keep tabs on what's going on in your home. As soon as the alarm goes off, you're getting a notification. If you're not answering, there's always a backup contact list, people that you trust that they would call. They always try to verify it before they notify the police.
According to Stats Canada, police have reported that crime per 100,000 people has gone up 2.1% over the past year to more than 5,400 incidents. Lethbridge Mayor Chris Bierman has been campaigning for a full-time SCAN unit for our city for quite some time. SCAN, which stands for Safer Communities and Neighborhoods, allows Alberta sheriffs to shut down drug houses. Lethbridge East MLA Nathan Neudorf says even with provincial cutbacks, Lethbridge may still see a full-time SCAN unit.
We have limited resources right now, so there's some fiscal realities to that, but I don't think the SCAN unit issue is dead. I have had ongoing conversations. We're working with the Minister of Justice right now. He's coming down to meet with us again, and I think the city has put forward some proposals that will help on that funding side. I think if we're creative and don't get trapped in a box of thinking, that we may see a SCAN unit down here yet.
Lethbridge East MLA Nathan Neudorf will have more on what type of funding could be coming to Lethbridge, including what help may be available to deal with drug addiction. That's coming up later in our show. New Brunswick MP John Williamson is considering a Tory leadership bid. His longtime friend and former colleague Stella Ambler says several people have been encouraging Williamson to run. Ambler says there's now an opening in the race for someone from the right wing of the party. If Williamson runs, he would join at least 2 other sitting MPs already in the contest. Baseball coach John Altobelli, along with his wife and daughter, were among those who died in a helicopter crash on Sunday that also killed former NBA star Kobe Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter. University of Houston head baseball coach reflects on his memories of Coach Altobelli.
Yeah, actually, John was a really good friend of mine, of my entire family. You know, I've known him probably 25 years. He's, a very successful coach at Orange Coast College. We've had 5 of his players here. Obviously, a letterman at the University of Houston, assistant coach here at one time. But every time I'm on the West Coast recruiting or we're playing out on the West Coast, John and I always get together and usually carrying the girls and JJ when he's around. But it's just a really sad day for the program. Me personally, obviously, but college baseball in general lost a great one yesterday.
A witness who saw the helicopter crash said there was no big explosion, just a loud thud and then silence.
20 seconds later, we heard it was not a big explosion, it was just a big thud. Just a big, heavy thud like you're throwing a boulder against the wall. And I heard the fuselage break up, pieces, fiberglass and plexiglass break, and the rotors immediately went silent. So within a half a second, quarter or half a second. I didn't see the fire or the smoke, my heart sank, and I just thought to myself, oh my God, what happened just didn't, but it did happen. So immediately pulled out my phone, called 911. What's the nature of your emergency? I said, I'm sorry to report, but I think a helicopter's just gone down.
Well, the weather has been on our side lately. Lots of sunshine again today, and we should get up to the double-digit temperatures by the weekend. Full weather details are coming up right after this. And welcome back. Here's a look at our weather highlights for today and tomorrow in Lethbridge. We're going to be seeing a high of 8 degrees today. Hopefully we reach that. -2 overnight, and then a high of 6 degrees tomorrow. We have lots of sunshine in the forecast as well for today and tomorrow with scattered clouds there. Looking ahead to the 5-day, we're going to have a lot of lovely sunshine on Friday, and then we're going to climb up into the double digits for 10 degrees on Friday. And then look what's happening on Saturday. We could see as high as 15 degrees on Saturday. And into Sunday, all of a sudden, we're going to see a massive drop. -3 is the high. We're going to see a chance of showers, and then it's going to drop even further to -6 on Monday and 1 degree on Tuesday. We're going to see 60% chance of flurries rather, for those days. Now, the almanac highs and lows for this time of year, -1 the high, -13 the low. The high temperature on this day was back in 1940. It was 14 degrees. And the lowest temperature was -39. That was in 1996. The sun rose this morning at 8:09 a.m. and will be setting at 20 minutes past 5. Now, looking to our high temperatures across the nation today over on the West Coast, Victoria and Vancouver will be seeing showers, highs of 10 degrees and 9 degrees in those cities. High of 2 degrees up in Edmonton, and 4 degrees is the high today in Calgary, with lots of sunshine across Alberta today with scattered clouds. Now, looking further in the prairies, we're going to see a lot more snow as we head further east. Saskatoon's high, -3, -1 expected in Regina, and Winnipeg's high today, -8. We are going to be seeing snow in all 3 of those cities as well. Now, moving further east here, Toronto will see a chance of flurries today as well with a mix of sun and cloud. -2 is their high. -6 is the high in Ottawa, and -5 in Montreal, with tons of sunshine in that area. Now, looking further east into Atlantic Canada, -6 is the high in Fredericton today. Lots of sunshine, but then we're going to be seeing snow in the rest of the region. Halifax high, -4. -7 is expected today in Charlottetown. And St. John's, Newfoundland's high is -1. They are going to be experiencing some flurries there as well. There you go. That is your forecast. Here's a look at what's happening in your community.
Here's your Bridge City News Community Calendar. Ready to take the plunge? Southern Albertans are invited to take part in this year's Polar Plunge in support of Special Olympics taking place Saturday, February 1st at Henderson Lake Park from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Registration is $50 and comes with a pair of Polar Plunge gloves. For more details and to register, visit specialolympics.ca/Alberta Polar Plunge. Night to Shine is an event sponsored by the Tim Tebow Foundation and hosted by My Victory Lethbridge on Friday, February 7th. Night to Shine is an unforgettable prom night experience for people with special needs ages 14 and older. This complimentary event begins on a red carpet with guests receiving the royal treatment. For details and to register, visit myvictory.ca. And if you'd like to volunteer, email Carol at myvictory.ca. And that's your Bridge City News Community Calendar.
Lucas Fiorella was a typical teenager. He had good grades in school, lots of friends, and always had a big smile. But he suffered in silence. Lucas dealt with depression and eventually took his own life. Now his father, Sam, is on a mission to keep his son's spirit alive by inviting people to come and sit and talk on a special bench.
What we wanted to do was, in his spirit, create a campaign that would encourage more students to say hello to each other and have those positive conversations about mental health, in hopes that they will then have the courage and the strength to go and ask for the help that is available to them in college campuses and in communities and through professionals across the country. After we have been on a school campus for 6 months or longer, they've seen an increase of somewhere between 18 and 20% in the number of kids asking for help from the professionals. So we know that this works and that this concept of peer-to-peer conversation as opposed to lectures, more mental health lectures from clinicians and faculty members and parents, really does seem to work. Lucas lives on now for us in every hello that is said, not just on this bench, but as part of this campaign around college campuses, university campuses, high schools, where students are making it okay for other students to not be okay.
Fiorella encourages people to look beyond the smile. Common signs of depression include loss of passion, a change in sleeping patterns, and withdrawing from close friends and family. A South Carolina pastor wants to make a shrine of reconciliation out of a store that once sold racist merchandise and had a Ku Klux Klan museum. Rev David Kennedy obtained the historic theater building that housed what was called the Redneck Shop in Lawrence, South Carolina. Sarah Blake Morgan with the Associated Press reports.
In Lawrence, South Carolina, under the shadows of this old theater, there are dark memories.
It's like your whole essence, the essence of your being is vibrating and remembering the hostilities.
Rev David Kennedy remembers a time not long ago when this place stood against everything he is.
The Ku Klux Klan came in, and they created the one and only worldwide KKK museum known as the Redneck Shop.
But in 1997, Kennedy became the owner of the theater through an unlikely source, a former Klan member who once was asked to kill him. Kennedy didn't know that when he first met Michael Burden, hungry and poor, and helped him and his family get back on their feet. There was one catch, though. The shop owner got to stay in the building until he died. This story is on display in the new film Burden.
Racism is a strange kind of organism. It's systemic, and it probably will never go away in our lifetime.
The shop owner died in 2017, and Kennedy now has big plans for the theater. 101 Studios, the film's production company, has started an effort to turn it into a museum.
It symbolizes, for right now, in the shape it's in, hatred. But we want to hope that we can turn it into a building of love.
The next chapter of this building's history being written by a man determined to move a community forward by learning from its divisive past. Sarah Blake Morgan, The Associated Press.
The new Alberta budget said there will be cutbacks, but in which areas and how will that impact Lethbridge? Lethbridge East MLA Nathan Newdorf stopped by our studio to give us an update. That interview is coming up right after this short break.